here we are in a space step. We're about to pick up a new ship. Or I should say, we're about to actually select our new ship. But we're better to talk about your ships for the near future. Right. To get new ships, we talk to this woman. Since we just hit level 10, actually we've got past it and hit level 11, so we better cover this now. You currently for free to play players, and for people who do not wish to buy it, there are 3 types of ships, and we better cover the ship classes. Cruisers have an aura effect called Cruiser Communications Array. Most ships will have 4 powers, such as the Constitution Refit, but some other ships will have less than 4 available. These ships are generally built to take a lot of damage compared to other ships, but they are often slower to turn than the escort and the science vessels. You'll notice there are 3 icons for cruisers. In this case, 3 new icons. You will get up to 4, depending on which type of ship you are flying. This being somewhat of a unique ship, gets 3. This is partly because of other abilities. It is unique to this ship, but not cruisers. However, if you were to compare a cruiser to a standard MMO, most people would think it would be classed as a tank, or the classical tank, that is. Science vessels. They have 4 subsystem targeting powers built into ship, which may be able to turn the tide of battle. Many science vessels will also have the sensor analysis, which can be used to debuff or buff targets. Science vessels also have a few extra additional features that aren't present on most ships. They have a built-in subsystem targeting ability. This means that you can target each subsystem within every 15 seconds. However, this is quite often not considered useful. However, you will also lock out stuff like beam fire at will and beam overload at the same time. Also, science vessels, if I select this sovereign, I think, I'll select this scimitar, and I select most ships have sensor analysis. Most science ships have sensor analysis, and just this Roman science ship will show you. I can select it, and will also point out to the player who's flying this science vessel whereabouts it is in relation to this ship. And ships of these classes are often fragile, but can often have often outdo themselves with their special abilities. Science vessels also have a slightly more science shields than the other 2 escorts in relation to the hull. I would say if you were to class science vessels, you would have a class them as made offensive mages or healer mages. In both cases, this can work in, be described as well. As the third and probably the final major class of vessels is the escort. Escorts are one of the few classes that can equip the dual cannons and heavy dual cannon weapon types. These are often geared to produce a lot of damage with these weapons. Many of the starter ship builds for these type of classes are to get in, do damage and get out before they notice you. Some escorts which doesn't count these here, which will also get a experimental 360 weapon. As I said, these are basically your standard damage dealing classes, and you do. As for these three ships versus these three ships are slightly more powerful in the sense that they often have either in this case more console slots, and they also will come with a console which is unique to that ship. For example, this Gladius Escort refit has an impulse booster module which will allow you to get in and out really quickly. The cruiser has an ionized gas sensor module which which basically allows you to attack cloaked ships. Whilst it sounds brilliant, it's usually not considered particularly well in the game today. The science vessel here is known as the Rhode Island class at the moment, and contains the photonic displacement module, which allows you to avoid getting hit by basically creating holographic versions of your ship to fly around near you. These consoles may be able to use in other ships in this moment, but later ships will be limited to certain ships. Also, there's actually a seventh ship you can pick up for Lieutenant Commander. It's the Daedalus class. This ship has got a few powers which are unique to the Kirk era style ships outside the classic Enterprise, and it can be confusing to new players. I might cover those powers on May on a later date. As for which ship I'm going to be getting, to be technical, I'm not getting any of those. I am going to be picking the prototype exploration cruiser, which is basically the Walker class from this TV show. Which comes with its own console, as you can see here. This is also a upgradable ship. Also, Yes, you've noticed I'm wearing a outfit. This outfit was unique to an event that's just passed, that is just in-game at this very moment, but will just pass very soon. Finally, we're going to have to move on to doffing and various other stuff. Doffing is a duty of the system, so we'll need to go down to Starfleet Academy. If you remember Starfleet Academy when we were back in cadet days, this layout has not changed that much, although there have been a few different changes, such as a memorial plaque for various other things. But for your first complement of duty officers, we speak to Lieutenant Farah, and he will give you a pile of duty officers. The first thing I always suggest for a new player to do is to, after you've picked up your first lot of duty officers, is run around this place and speak to this personnel officer, and submit yourself to get some more duty officer cadres, because you will need to have the general rule for me is more is better. I will equip one. Whilst I do not always recommend you using the general equipment, or request the assistance for new players, they are useful in this long term. Duty officer abilities such as this will do various things. For example, this diplomatic one will give bonuses to people, and well, this is going to be given is a one of 10, which is a chain, which allows you to, which will often have a very good and possibly unique item or reward at the end of this. It's also worth noting that if you notice here that a lot of the places that people I can slot in are unable to be slot in. Yeah. There is also two other things I need to consider talking about. One of them is every so often there will be under personal a confiscate contraband mission. Today doesn't have it at this moment in time, and there's back on the airspace. There is the occasion we spotted in the by the window is has the ability to convert your contraband into lithium, which is very nice for later. And this is basically it for the time being. I'm not sure. I'll see you next time.